Where'd you go?
Hey guys, Reaper Eyes here on World of Warcraft. Welcome to my new series of Druid specs, classes and tips. In this series I'm going to cover all parts of Balanced Druid and Restoration Druid. If I receive a high enough volume and requests, I'll be continuing to do the same with Feral DPS and tanking also. We will be, of course, starting with Balanced Druids. Today, we'll be covering the first and foremost important part of your DPS as a Balanced Druid, the Spec. Now, of course, you can pretty much throw together any good old Spec within a few seconds without bothering too much and pull some decent numbers, if you know how to, of course. But truly, if you want to get your DPS as high as you can, you'll need to know as much as you can about your Spec, so today I'm going to be covering Spec and Glyphs in depth. Now, there are 36 talent points that need to be precisely placed within the balanced tree, leaving you with 5 talent points that can be placed where you think is best suited for you or your raid needs. We will start off with the definite points first, and I'll give an explanation in the areas that I think some of you may need help with, while I'll just show you where to place the points in areas I think are easy to understand. The balanced tree. Tier 1, Nature's Grasp, Style Art Wrath, and Nature's Majesty are all a must. Now, Nature's Grace gives 15% spell haste after you apply dots for 15 seconds with a minute cooldown, although this cooldown is reset once you reach either lunar or solar eclipse. I'll explain how to use this to a great advantage in my rotation video. Tier 2, Genesis and Balance Over Power are both a must. Tier 3, Euphoria, Moon Conform, Typhoon and Shooting Stars are all required in a good balanced spec. Euphoria is great, especially if you have 4-piece Tier 12, which increases the amount of Eclipse energy generated with each cast. Now, Euphoria has a 24% chance to double energy generated when not in an Eclipse state, which can come in handy, making the intervals between Eclipse states extremely fast. Also, you gain a 16% of your mana back instantly when you reach an Eclipse state, which should stop you from going out of mana. Shooting Stars is great. This talent allows you to cast off more Star Surges more often, which by far is your biggest damage dealer. Tier 4, Alkan Frenzy. This talent is the only Tier 4 talent you need to take. It gives you a 15% chance to gain 10% more damage and become immune to pushbacks for 10 seconds. Tier 5, Force of Nature, Sunfire, and Earth and Moon. Tier 6, Lunar Shower. Lunar Shower I wouldn't say is 100% required, but if you do happen to find yourself Moonfire spamming occasionally, it's great for that. It will save you mana and increase the damage done of your instant damage. Tier 7, Starfall. Now, those are all the points you need in the balance tree, but we're going to move on to the restoration tree, where there are some points that you must pick up there too. Tier 1, Natural Shapeshifter and Heart of the Wild. Tier 2, Master Shapeshifter. And that covers all the required points for a good balanced spec, leaving you with a total of 5 talent points left over. There are many places you could place these talents to increase DPS slightly, have a more of a CC effect, damage reduction and survival, and so on. These points are totally up to you, as they really will not affect you overall so much. You will hardly notice the difference. Personally, I like to go all out DPS as I love seeing those high numbers on the meters. Your optional talents are, for extra mana and mana regain, Furor, Dream State, and Genesis. Overall, if you only had a few points to choose from, and you're deciding between Furor and Genesis, to keep your mana up a little bit more, I'd decide to go Furor. It is more effective with the use of Innovate, giving you a larger pool of mana will allow you to regain more mana. That leads us to Dream State. Timing and Innovate with procs of Dream State can lead you to going from 30% mana back to 100% within 10 seconds, while still casting. For a little bit extra damage, Blessing of the Grove and Gale Winds, for obvious reasons if you read over the information quickly. For some extra CC effects, Solar Beam and Fungal Growth, both very useful. Solar Beam is a silent effect to all targets standing in the Solar Beam. In a raid, this can be quite effective. Fungal Growth is great for slowing enemies in their tracks. Not so useful in Dragon Soul raid, but if you're still raiding the old content Firelands, it is well worth it. For a bit of extra survival, place points in the talent Perseverance. This talent will decrease your damage done to you by all spells by 2, 4, and 6% for each point placed in this talent. Any spare points you have left over, not knowing where you should have them, this is the best place to put them in my opinion. Healers love having to heal you less. Hey guys, I'm currently working with EliteKeys.com. As you may have noticed in my previous video, I spoke of free games to be given away or won. EliteKeys.com has promised me some games to give away to you guys. In the near future, I'll be doing some contests and giveaways for games such as Battlefield 3, Modern Warfare 3, Skyrim, Star Wars The Old Republic, and many more. Only subscribers can compete, so hit that button for me and I'll update you furthermore in the near future. Good luck guys. See ya.